My biggest win with the journey has been that inner peace and just that fundamental knowing that I've got full purpose and great deal more happiness.
That was amazing for me, and actually for my whole family. Allowed us to keep this open mind on life and to open to all the opportunities.
I have so much more freedom and self-connection and health and vibrancy. I just feel more alive.
The journey helped me to understand what my emotions are, not to be scared of them.
It changed my life. It cleared all blocks and brought into my consciousness what my heart's desire was.
Now I feel my life is easier. I feel stronger, feel what I feel and find a new solution.
To be free from the burden on my shoulders. I live in the moment now, and I'm open to my emotions from the highest to the lowest.
Until the journey, I didn't really know that I could get to the same depth without using any substance. It's getting easier and easier to connect to the deepest part of myself.
Probably the biggest improvement is my inner life or my inner freedom to be as myself, in myself, not being a victim of circumstances and the other people.
The journey has really been a second chance in life for me. Having permission to dive deep and find out who the real authentic me was and just to be that person has just been wonderful.
When you listen to yourself and when you really touch your soul, something magical happens.
Life is different because of the journey. I feel I have all the tools I need to face whatever life throws at me. Life has become fun.
My biggest win was healing a broken heart, and not once, many times. I would never have been able to be in the position that I am in now had it not been for the journey.
Befriending myself in really accepting who I am, that I am perfectly imperfect and I don't need fixing.
I've gained so much. So there is no one big win. If it had to be named as one thing, I would just say it's life-changing.
It's changed my world, it's changed my life, it's changed me. And it's allowed me to be open and vulnerable and completely transparent.
My biggest win as a result of using the journey would definitely be my ability to network and expand upon the goals that I've had for such a long period of time.
My biggest win since attending the Journey Intensive has been finding myself. It has been healing, transforming.
I am just so much more receptive and open to whatever God has planned for me. At the very core of me, being able to experience that peace has been priceless.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are, and thank you so much for joining us today. I'm just blown away. I was almost tearing up when I saw all the messages in the chat box of where you're from. Goodness, this is really, truly worldwide today. We are all over, from Australia to New Zealand, coming across Thailand, South Korea. I tried to write it all down, but it's like 4 lines in 2-letter codes. And it's all of Europe, all of Scandinavia. We have Germany, we have Sweden, we have Norway, Finland, Estonia, we have Belgium, we have the UK, everywhere. Switzerland. Really, really beautiful. So thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to today's session with Brandon, How to Overcome Your Fears and Trauma. And it is live with Brandon. So she's waiting in the background and she will take us through some really profound intro to how we can actually do this. You know, it's experiential, and we will also undergo an introspection with Brandon. And so I wish you the most amazing time. Just to tell you who I am, my name is Gabby Burt, and I've been with Brandon and the journey for 28 years now. It's been the most rewarding thing that I could think of. And I'm grateful. Brandon, I think you need to come.
Okay.
I have never seen this wide an audience in our discovery session, and I thought, oh, I haven't seen anybody from the UK, and then the UK came in, and then I thought, because I'm Austrian, oh, there's nobody here from Austria, and then somebody comes in from Austria. It's really, I think we're covering the globe today, and obviously the timing is out for the US, so but I think we probably have somebody here too, they just got up in the middle of the night. So have an amazing session, everyone. Thank you, Brandon, so much for joining us. Please stay on to the end. We have a few important announcements, and we have also a free place to give away for the next Journey Intensive. So, oh, somebody's here from Western Washington. There you go. So I'll be seeing you on the other side. So thank you so much. Thank you, Brandon.
Oh, the heartfelt namaste to everyone. And it is overwhelming and very humbling for all of you coming in now. And also, I've been reading all the messages you sent of the challenges that you've been facing and the traumas that have been here and what you want to work on. And I try as best as I can to kind of open with the collective experience that everyone's had and to weave in the various themes that are showing up that people are actually facing right now in their lives. And so I was very moved to read so many of you shared that you'd experienced recent grief and somehow you couldn't get beyond it. And another person was sharing, quite a number of people were sharing about childhood trauma, of abuse. One woman was actually sharing that she was not wanted as a child, that her parents wanted a boy. And as soon as her parents gave birth to a boy, she was then sent off to her grandparents, who also didn't want her. And so she's grown up with this childhood trauma of forever knowing she's just not wanted, that who she is not what is wanted. And that's affected her relationships, her job. And it's true, with the various traumas that we have, it's not only like you have a car crash and there's a trauma there, it can be emotional trauma, it can be physical trauma, sexual trauma, and energetic trauma, where you're being so criticized that actually what happens for trauma to get stored inside the body is at any time you feel a strong emotion and you repress it, it releases into your bloodstream a quantifiable biochemistry, which will go to certain cell receptors and block them, rendering those cells incapable of communicating with the rest of the cells in the body. And if over time illness happens, where it obviously happens, where the cells are blocked. Conversely, what's also known to be true is when we feel our emotions very openly, naturally, freely, like a child does, our cell receptors remain open. And so, for instance, let's say you are in a car crash and you know what happens there. You're at the peak of fear of death, fear of what's going to happen, and you're at the height of panic. And then the impact happens. And what do? You shut down, you freeze, you go into shock. And then that biochemistry is released into your bloodstream. And that old fear, that panic, that feeling of being out of control, that helplessness, it gets stored as programming inside your cells. And then when that cell generation dies, it passes on the programming to the next cell generation. So the next cell generations that come all carry that same emotional trauma, that emotional pain. No one gave you a manual how to deal with that. And of course, you did what we all do. You went into shock and shut down. Now, this kind of shutdown doesn't only happen in sports injuries and in auto accidents. It happens when you're in any emotional situation where Someone could be criticizing you. Maybe your school teacher says something or humiliates you. And because you weren't given a manual how to deal with that, what do? You shut down, you withdraw. And that old pain then gets stored inside the body. And the next time you get criticized, up comes the pain. Now, one man was sharing how he's very reactive. He has these knee-jerk reactions where he gets immediately flies off the handle. And when someone says something, does something, it's an automatic, involuntary knee-jerk response. And that is what happens with traumas, is that when they get stored inside the body and someone pushes our button, what comes roaring up to the surface is that old trauma, that old reaction. So for instance, if you're driving in a car and someone cuts you off, and out of nowhere, you have so much rage come out. Well, that person didn't come in the middle of the night and stick the rage there. What happened was you already had rage stored inside you from a previous time. And all that they did is they pushed your buttons, and involuntarily up it came roaring to the surface. So these emotions, people often say, well, I've never really had any trauma. And actually, we all of us have. If you've frozen at some point in the face of something taking place, if you've found that you just, your reaction to someone yelling at you, and you react by just freezing or shutting down, that is when the biochemistry is released and stored inside the body. So all of us have these old fears, these old traumas, these old grief that, we don't know how to deal with the grief. And so the pain is so great. And so many people wrote to me about their grief. And what happens is we try to just push it away, distract ourselves, get involved with other things that take our attention, anything but feel that old pain. And it's true, none of us have really learned how to feel our emotions. Often when we feel an emotions, it seems like a knee-jerk response. We learn how to smoke it away, drink it away. We get on Facebook, we get searching the web, we are doing puzzles online, we go to the movies, we call a friend. Is almost anything but feel that strong emotion. And so instead, this kind of passive way of pushing it down, repressing it, makes it get stored inside the body. That biochemistry is released. Now, one of the things that's happened is science has very much caught on to this. And we have 3 hospitals in Israel where, for instance, let's say you go into one hospital that specializes in heart surgery. After you've had whatever, let's say there's been a heart attack and the surgery has happened, you will then go for a week long into a recovery center where they will undergo a journey process, which will actually allow you to go on a journey inside your body to get access to the emotional pain, the stress, the fear, whatever co-created that heart disease in the first place. So you go on a journey inside the body and you go to specific cellular locations and you uncover the trauma that's there. And you go through a deep process of release and letting go, understanding, ultimately forgiveness of the other person, of yourself, forgiving life, so that when new cells are born, they're born devoid of that old cell memory as new regenerative cells. So for instance, in that heart unit that you will go and find out, well, doctors already know this. There's probably been some stress there. I mean, it's common sense. And the journey actually helps you get to that emotional root cause. Or there's another hospital that has a cancer unit where they have oncology happening. And after you've undergone your treatment, in a week long, you go into recovery, and they use the journey to get to the emotional corollary. What co-created the cancer in the first place? Same thing with multiple sclerosis. And so the journey was originally born out of my own direct experience over 30 years ago of healing from what turned out to be a basketball-sized tumor. And at the time that I underwent my own healing journey, there was a lot of research going on in the field of cellular healing. And what they had discovered at that time in 1993 is that they'd already done a whole lot of research on the cells and how they replicate. And there was one particular scientist, Dr. Deepak Chopra, who was a chief surgeon general for a hospital in Boston. And he decided to do a radical thing as a doctor. He decided he would amass hundreds, and ultimately he amassed thousands of case studies of people who had healed without drugs or surgery, without medical intervention. He wanted to know what makes people heal against the odds. And so he amassed these case studies, and in reviewing all these case studies, he could only find that the people who healed spontaneously, it's called spontaneous healing, without any kind of medical intervention, had only two qualities that they had in common. One was through some act of grace or spontaneous event, they actually got access to this that he called the infinite intelligence, part of you that makes your heart beat and your eyes shine and your hair grow. And the second thing that they had in common is that through some act of grace or spontaneous event, they actually got access to the cell memory, to the programming that was in the cell. And if somehow they released that old stored consciousness, that pain, that programming, when the new cells were born, they were born devoid of that old consciousness, devoid of that old programming as new regenerative cells. So when I got diagnosed, and here I was nearly 40 years old, so it was 39 years old, and I got diagnosed with this basketball-sized tumor. And of course, I went to the doctor, and she sat me down after doing the whole examination, and she said that you have this basketball-sized mass. And she said, you are bleeding internally. You're going to need to get to the hospital today, and you're going to have it surgically removed. And because you're bleeding internally. And I said to her, listen, I'm in the field of complementary medicine. I've been certified in so many different areas. And she said to me, Brandon, you chose me as a surgeon because I practice integrative medicine. And attached this clinic, we put people on herbs. We actually put them on cleanses. We have guided visualizations. We have yoga. She said, we have acupuncture, we have the whole gamut of everything out there in complementary medicine. And if I felt you could go that route, that is the first route I would prescribe for you. But you've got to look at all the case studies behind me. There's not a single woman there in all these books behind me who's had a mass as large as yours, who successfully healed herself. So though I may wish you well, you need to get real. You need to get into the hospital today. We need to find out, is it malignant? Is it benign? But it's not going to matter. You're going to have it surgically removed. And so I began to share with her all the different areas that I was certified and accredited in the field of alternative healing and complementary medicine. And I said, listen, if I can get the bleeding to stop over the next 3 days, how much time can you give me? And finally, we'd been talking for another 20 minutes, she agreed that if I could get the bleeding to stop over the next 3 days, she'd give me exactly 1 month to give it my best shot. But if I weren't significantly healed, I would go back in and let her do what she knew how to do, which was to surgically remove it. And I'll never forget this moment. I was holding my best friend's hand, and she'd come to the doctor with me. And I'd just gotten this prognosis. And my heart was thumping through the roof, and my mind was going a million miles a minute. And I walked out of her clinic. And as I looked up in front of me, there was a mimosa tree that looked like golden rain. And I looked at that tree, and it was as if time stopped. And my racing thinking mind just fell away. And I was riveted into a timeless presence. It was everywhere. And out of nowhere, all the waves of gratitude came flooding. Gratitude just to be able to see a tree with golden blossoms, to smell the fragrance that I hadn't smelled going in. Gratitude just to be allowed to breathe. And it was while I was looking at that tree, in this timeless moment that's often referred to as a Sartori moment, where time stood still. Out of nowhere came the gut knowing. Somehow I would be guided to heal. And though I didn't know how that would be, I was so grateful for all the work going on in the field of cellular healing. And specifically for all the case studies I'd read of Dr. Deepak Chopra. And so I'd seen what was written, but I can tell you something. You can know all the science on the planet. You can understand how the cells replicate. You can even read the case studies of people who had healed. But unless you have a method, it's nothing more than a very beautiful, inspiring set of statistics on a page. And that's where I stood. And yet I had this gut knowing. Somehow, spontaneously, I would be guided to heal. And so that was the gift of my own healing journey. I found a means for all of us to open into this vast field, this infinite field of love that is your essence. And for all of us to be guided by our souls on a journey inside your body, to go to those cellular locations and to uncover the cell memories that are there, the old pain, the past programming, and to go through a very practical, gentle, and quite profound process of not only allowing it finally to come up instead of being buried there, but to be released wholly and let go of. Ultimately understanding what took place to you in your life and forgiving, so that when the new cells are born, they're born free from that old programming as new regenerative cells. And so it was 6.5 weeks after I first went to the doctor's office that I ended up in Cedars-Sinai Hospital, and I was having all the scans done. And after 43 pictures were taken, the doctor came out and she said, "Look at this. You're textbook perfect clean, completely tumor-free, and you have the uterus of a 20-year-old." And here I am, nearly 40, and inside I'm going, yeah. Externally, though, I was very cool. And I said, "Oh, that's wonderful news." Then I did something totally uncool. I'm in this famous hospital, right? And And I looked to see when the nurses and orderlies and doctors had all gone into the rooms, and I skipped all the way to the elevator. And when I stood outside that hospital by myself in the sunshine, I was overwhelmed with gratitude. Gratitude for life, to have a body, and to be able to heal. And so since that time, it's been more than 30 years, tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands. I mean, millions have read the book, so I don't know how many of them used the process in the book, but for sure, hundreds of thousands have gone through the Journey Intensive and through the work and have experienced both cellular healing, emotional healing, and also what it is to come home to yourself, to the feeling of love that is your essence, the peace that you came in as. And science will tell us that actually when you're newly born and in the first hours and days and weeks of your life, you feel yourself to be this vast field of oneness with all of life, where you feel yourself to be part of and in everything. As a matter of fact, when mother's hand comes before your eyes, the infant feels mother's hand as being part of itself. That's how vast this vast field of love is, this field of awareness. And so with the journey, you are guided down through the emotions into this field of love, into this vast awareness, this field of oneness that you came in as. And you're guided by that presence, by your own soul, to the specific locations inside the body where these old cell memories are. And so the journey is not just about healing emotionally, physically, mentally. It's also about awakening to your infinite self and coming home to who you really are and clearing all those traumas, those blocks, those shutdowns, that pain. It's about clearing whatever lampshades you have put over your light and opening into the truth of who you are, into the freedom that is here, into the love that you came in as. And so it's very gentle and very deep work, very practical work, which is why so many doctors are using it right alongside the surgeries that they're doing. And it's why it's used throughout life, really, throughout the years, by people from all walks of life. And I wish with all my heart I could take you through the whole journey process right now, but it's something that it's a deeply immersive experience that you can experience online in a 2-day seminar where you really dive in and not only get the teachings, but the whole journey work where you get to process with someone in the afternoon and actually experience the work in a one-to-one way. And so it's extremely liberating and healing. And even though I can't give you that whole journey process tonight, because it takes a few days to go through, it is something that at least we can begin to befriend our bodies, to start listening to our bodies, to find out what it is our bodies are trying to reveal to us. Because the truth of the matter is, all of us have emotions stored inside our bodies. And we've learned so many countless ways to resist them, to distract ourselves from them. And yet those emotions are the gateway to your soul. and are the gateway to true healing. So even though I can't take you through the whole journey process and all the processes, the emotional journey and the physical journey and the advanced skills, I would love to welcome you to do a guided introspection with me, where we can begin this process of inner listening, opening with whatever feelings are here, and just being willing to be accepting, welcoming, allowing them. So if you'd like to join me, let's all just do a divine experiment here. Let's decide we're going to befriend our bodies, that we're going to listen, that we're going to be present to whatever the body reveals and exposes. And I've learned over time that the body will never give you something you're not ready to face. So if it's arising for you, it means you're ready to feel it. So if you'd like to join me, let's all take a nice deep breath in together. Letting it out and closing your eyes. And another nice deep breath in. And breathing into your room, acceptance, just breathing that into your room. And taking a deep breath in of openness and breathing openness into your room. And the willingness to feel, to be present to whatever the body reveals. Breathing that willingness into the room. And trust. Trust in yourself, trust in life. Trust that your soul brought you to watch today, to open today, to listen today. Your soul is what brought you to this evening or this morning, wherever you are. And your soul wants you to come home. Your soul wants you to begin your journey with yourself. And so breathing trust into the room. Now letting your heart be as wide as the world. Wide enough to welcome all the feelings that have ever arisen in your own awareness. That's how vast, this vast open sky of all acceptance is. And it's spacious and vast, infinite and free in front of you. It's boundlessly spacious and vast, high. The awareness is spacious and free to all sides. It's vast inside, vast outside. You're just resting here in this ocean of awareness. And let's turn our gaze inside the body. And you know, our bodies are like containers full of all kinds of emotions. And you know, our emotions, they're like little kids. Some of our feelings, they're loud and attention-seeking, always trying to get our attention. Some of our emotions are shy and scared of us. And some of your feelings, you have rejected them so many times that, like a little kid who's been rejected one too many times, they hide behind closed doors, underneath lids. And so putting out a heartfelt welcome to all the feelings that live inside of you. And just let your being, your body, your emotions know that today, for once, you're going to listen. You're going to be present. You're going to open with whatever wants to reveal itself today. And so locating in your body someplace where you're feeling a little tension right now, or stress, or holding, or hiding, or contraction going on. Locate that place right now. Taking a deep breath in of acceptance and flooding that area with a breath of acceptance. Letting that area be softened and marinated, opened. And if there were feeling hiding in that area, as you surround it in acceptance, what is the feeling that's arising there? It may be quiet as a whisper, but if there were an emotion arising in that area, I wonder what that emotion might be. Just let it come up. Or if this area that you're in could speak and had words, what would it say right now? Just give it a voice. If it could speak and had words, what would it say? As you listen to the words, how do they make you feel emotionally? What's the feeling that's here? Or perhaps a picture is showing up. If a picture is just arising out of nowhere, there may or may not be, but if there is, step into it. How are you feeling in that picture? Or perhaps it feels like there's a lid over this area. Something's blocking this area. Imagining right now that there is a lid. And the same way you would peel the lid off a can of peanuts, take hold of that lid right now and lift it off. What's hiding here? Take hold of that lid, lifting it off. What's here? How does it make you feel? Just welcoming whatever's here and also whatever's not here. Taking a deep breath in of acceptance, flooding the area with acceptance, letting it be marinated and all acceptance, just bathing that area. Now coming to neutral inside of yourself. Find another place inside of your body where there may be a little tension or stress or holding or hiding or some kind of contraction going on. Locate that area right now. Take a deep breath in of acceptance. And now flooding that area with acceptance. Letting acceptance soften it, marinate it, tenderize it, open it. And if there were a feeling starting to arise out of that area, What might that feeling be? Might be quiet as a whisper. But if there were a feeling, what might it be? Just let it arise. Or if this area could speak and had words, what would it say right now? Give it a voice. As you listen to the words, how do they make you feel emotionally? Or perhaps a picture's here. If there is a picture, step into it. May or may not be, but if there is, step into it. How are you feeling in that picture? Or if this area feels blocked in some way, like there's a lid over it, we'll take hold of that lid right now. Lift it off. What's hiding here? Just welcoming whatever's here. And also whatever's not here. Taking a deep breath in of acceptance and flooding that area with acceptance. Coming to neutral side of yourself. And finding yet a third place where there may be little tension or stress or holding or hiding or something's contracted there. Find that area, locate it. Take a deep breath in of acceptance. And now flooding that area with acceptance, letting it soften, be marinated and tenderized. And if there were a feeling rising out of that area, what might that feeling be? Or if that area could speak and had words, what would it say? How does it make you feel emotionally when you listen to the words? Just give it a voice right now. How does it make you feel? Or perhaps it feels like there's a door somewhere that's been closed. As if you've just shut the door on whatever's hidden there. Imagine right now taking hold of that handle and opening the door now. What's hiding there? How does it make you feel? Welcoming whatever's here, and also whatever's not here. Taking a deep breath in of acceptance and flooding the area with acceptance and coming to neutral. And now saying to your body, if it feels appropriate, you might like to say to your body that you're going to start listening. You're going to continue to be present to the feelings that are arising here. And you're going to allow and accept them. These feelings are the gateway to true healing. And so thanking your body for whatever it did reveal today, letting it know that you'll continue this journey in being present to what you're feeling, opening with what's inside, allowing acceptance for whatever shows up. Taking a nice deep breath in and letting it out. And once again, the heart is as wide as the world. A vast, open sky of all acceptance that is spacious and vast, free and endless, in front, boundlessly spacious behind, and infinite to all sides. And you're just resting here, soaking, steeping in this ocean, as this ocean. Taking another nice deep breath in, letting it out. Knowing that with eyes open or eyes closed, same one awareness. Taking another nice deep breath in. And one more nice deep breath in. And sighing it out. And you can open your eyes now into this awareness, to this vast open sky of all acceptance. And so I'm trusting that you did a divine experiment and that you allowed emotions to be revealed. And some of you may have had some strong emotions come up, and I'd be so grateful if you would be willing to write in the chat box some of the emotions that came up for you, and Gabby can reveal them to us. And so I'd love to hear what you discovered inside, what your body was willing to reveal. Because even though this is just baby steps, you're starting to learn to listen to your body and to uncover what's stored inside. And so, Gabby, I don't know if anyone has written into the chat box so far. And
Oops, sorry, I was muted. Pain, sadness, fear, sadness, a lot of sadness here, self-hatred, pure rage and aggression, like from a big cat predator. Somebody said a lot of gratefulness, willingness to take more care, love. What have I had? Scared baby in the womb, grief, love, fear, panic, despair, felt self-betrayal, shattered, grief, fear, rage. Estonian, mure and kurbus, feeling abandoned, peace, not able to speak up, self-doubt. One lady said she couldn't feel it. She was just listening. So it's a lot unrooted, deep anxiety, a wound and stone weight in my heart, still persisting there. A lot of tears. I had each area different sensation: pain, loneliness in another, angry in the third, control. I had to be in control. So this is quite a big share. Sadness, pain again, loneliness, sadness, grief, loneliness, grief. So it just keeps going. Devastation, feeling heavy, grief in my heart, stuckness, old worries.
I'm so glad that the body was willing to open up.
Not being allowed to live, somebody just wrote. This life just sucks. Pain and tears, and now it's happiness, freedom, space. Thank you. So,
well, a lot of deeper issues came up. You know, abandonment, rage, loneliness, sadness. devastation. And this means your body's willing to begin opening up. It means that your body's saying, hey, if you're willing to be present to me, I'm willing to open and reveal what's here. And it's only when something is brought up from where it's buried unconsciously and it's brought up into conscious awareness that the healing journey can begin. And so I really do feel it is an invitation from your body to begin your process of working with your emotions, working with the painful memories that are stored there, and literally going through a deep process of completely freeing yourself so that the new cells are born, devoid, free from that old programming. And as you can see, no one came in the middle of the night and stuck those emotions there. They're there. And it's why when someone says something, and it may have been something totally innocent, and we have this big reaction, this big knee-jerk reaction, well, we have that when we have something already stored inside. All it's doing is coming up to the surface. So I believe it is your soul that brought you here. It is saying to you, it's time to come home. It's time to clear whatever blocks you, whatever shuts you down, whatever holds you back on any level of being. It's time to begin your own healing journey with yourself. And I don't believe anyone else can do your journey for you. The part of healing is you find out your own truth. You find out your own answers. You go through your own process of exposing. You go through your own process of forgiveness and letting go. And that's not something anyone can do for you, though it is something that you can learn. And I'm so grateful that they're in Europe. I'm in Australia at the moment, but they're in Europe and in Australasia, here in Australia and New Zealand, actually all over the world. Gabby was showing me that before we got online that actually there are journey intensives happening online. So you can do it right in your own living room or your own bedroom and really undergo this deep and liberating work, this profoundly healing work, to come home to that sense of self, to clear these old traumas. And what takes place at a journey intensive is that on the first day, after I take you through various meditations, introspections, deep teachings, in the afternoon, you'll partner up with someone, and with the support of journey practitioners who've gone through the whole year-long training, they will hold the embrace for you. So if you have any issues that come up, and you can raise your hand, and they will join the process that's happening so that you could have the most deep and complete process. And the next day, first day is emotional journey day, and the second day is the physical journey day, where you're literally going on that journey to cellular locations. And again, deep teachings throughout the day, process work, and then one-to-one sessions with support of the trainers. So the third day is a day that we go through advanced skills. So we're learning how it is, like someone said, that they had fear. They felt it like they were, a baby in the womb, to just share this tonight. And you will learn how to clear issues that got passed on to you even while you were a fetus. You were there in the womb. You'll learn how to literally clear the umbilical cords, where we have like this energy tie with someone like a parent or a sibling or someone we are close to, where we get codependent with them and we're sharing the same energy, and how to free yourself so that they can be free to dance in their own energy and you can be free to dance in your own, and countless other advanced skills that allow your process work to go extremely deeply. And then by the end of this 3-day immersion, not only will you feel free and wash clean, but you'll have a toolbox, a set of tools where you can use these tools with your children, with your parents, with your family, your friends, for people in in your life that need healing, because the truth is we all need to take the lampshade off. We all need to come home to the love that is here, to experience the joy that is our essence. We all need to clear whatever's blocking us, holding us back, clearing the traumas, the limitations, the shutdowns, so that this natural essence that is yourself can live your life. So I pray that somehow you'll get there, and Gabby can share with you more about what's going on. And I understand she's going to do a lottery where she'll pick one of you who can then end up going to the online Journey Intensive. And so thank you with all my heart. And also I really deeply, gratefully appreciate all your messages and sharing all your challenges. And so I look forward to seeing you again and again. And a heartfelt namaste.
Thank you, Brandon, so much for this session today. It was really, really beautiful, and the meditation, and obviously we saw from the chat how many people, you know, the opening that came with this, and it can be felt here online as well. So thank you everyone for participating, for opening, and for sharing. And at the Journey Intensive, I had some questions coming. Is it online? Can I listen to the meditation again? So first of all, everybody who has registered will get a replay of today's session. So you just need to fast forward and get to Brandon's meditation if you want to listen to it again. And the beautiful thing with this particular exercise is that we know that the emotions are there. And the freedom that we're speaking about, the love that we're talking about, the peace that we're speaking about actually lies in the heart of it. And I've always felt, I've come to the journey in 1996, and I've always felt that this is the best kept secret in the world, and that it should be taught in the schools, it should be shown in the churches, but in the core, in the center of the emotion is freedom, is love, is the kingdom that dwells within. And in the Journey Intensive, which is the seminar that we're talking about here, you learn the process to move through the emotions. It's you know, we're so, as human beings, we're so clever. We create resistances, we can create strategies of how to avoid, but we really learn how to switch off the brain. Somebody asked, what do I do? My brain is active. In that session, it happens. We can make that work. Yes, it's happening online. The teaching element is all with Brandon. And then you have a host like myself at the weekend that takes you through the entire weekend. So we just, we're there for every part in between. You go through, you actually undergo processes. And my experience, so we were forced into going online when COVID started. And we have been doing online, this whole program online since 2020. And one thing I have learned in this period is that the benefits and the results that come out at the end of it are equal. So you're not in a room with 100 or 200 people, you're at home. We're asking you to have a sacred space, to be in a room on your own so that you're not disturbed by pets or children or other people in the house or home. And you can, and you have a first row seat, you know, so wherever you are, you are right there. You are seeing the speaker right there. And the host will take you through the entire weekend. The process is what creates the results. And the process is, in the first one, in the emotional, we uncover the emotions. We get really, really clear what it is we're working on. And we're moving through the layers of the emotions and opening into this precious spaciousness, this love, this peace. And then we move on to the next day, where we find where in the body physical issues are stored, cell memories are stored, uncover that and let those go. And then there is a free day, a third day that is optional for you to actually take. We've chosen to put it on the Monday because there are some people who can't do 3 days in a row. So it's an optional one that you can then do on your own. Most people, about 80 to 85%, choose to stay, and then you learn some additional skills of how to go through forgiveness process, how to get through the layers, how to switch the brain off a little bit better, and so there are beautiful meditations, there's beautiful guidance, beautiful mini processes, but it is actually a life transforming process in itself. And at the moment, we have a very, very special offer, which is, it's 2025. So we decided we go into 2025 with a special offer and give 25% off until the 25th of January. So there you will get all the links either by email or they will show up in the chat box here. The dates for the next Journey Intensive around the world are here. So we have in February, we have, when we say Europe, we mean anybody can come. If you speak English, it's open to anyone. You can come from wherever, but it's done on the European time zone. And then on the same date, we also have the same version, but with our German host, Bettina. And so that's 22nd, 24th. Then we have North America, 25th to 27th. So we often do a midweek one. So if you can jump on the North American time zone, if that's easy for you, please do that. Or Australia have their next Journey Intensive 22nd to 24th of March. So there is absolutely any possibility, all time zones spanning the world, which is so fitting for today with having so many of you here from really around the world. And then I had, because these are not booked through our office, but we also have Estonia from the 7th to the 9th of February. And we have so many Estonians here today, so just want to make sure you know about it too. And then also next weekend already one in Finland. So we do have somebody from Finland here too, or if you have any friends. So that's next weekend in Finland. And these Journey Intensives go on through the year. I also wanted to make a very, very quick announcement about these 25% because within our organization, we are offering that at the moment on all programs. So all the advanced programs as well. And we have a very beautiful special program called the Personal Transformation Program. It starts with the Journey Intensive, continues with an Abundance Retreat, which deals with all self-worth issues and is designed very, very differently. And then another retreat, which goes over 8 days, which is the No Ego Retreat. And that is really the one that is the big one. It's one of the most freeing retreats that I know of. And it's so we package that together with a membership program. There's one other retreat which is about communication, and that retreat also has 25% discount. And to me, the first 3 events I did in about 3 months, I think, when I started the journey. I was lucky. All of these events came and I couldn't wait to go to the next. And when I finished the 3rd one, I came to realize that this was a jumping board into liberation. It really is. If awakening, if feeling really, really free is something you are looking for, if your heart is something, look into it. You can speak to one of our team. We have people who've gone through the whole program on the team who explain to you a little bit more, but it's most awesome. So there is a fast track, I'm telling you, because we're now in January, and so there are programs coming up. You can take it over a year or 2 years if you want, and you could do it and be finished by April. So if you want to fast track liberation, awakening, freedom, there is a possibility. So please check it out, have a look. I believe the links will be coming up. I haven't got time to look at the messages, but it is awesome, absolutely awesome. Awakening is something That's my little speech. Awaken is something that's actually not so difficult. So you can do it in a weekend, in a month, or in 3 months, and then staying wakeful is the challenge. And we have a beautiful community, and so this is where we stay open. This is where we continue to clear out the issues that come up. You know, life presents us with something new all the time. Look at the fires in LA at the moment. What a disaster. And I'm just so moved, you know, with all the messages for these people, with all the donations. But you know, it just happens. You know, life throws a curveball, and then how do we deal with it? And the journey process is something that brings us back into center. It doesn't take away the disaster, it doesn't take away the problem, but it brings us back into peace. It brings us back into our center, and that is the beauty. And all of us in the journey who have done this work, we've been around for many, you know, there are some of us who've been around for many years, and people continue to do the work because it helps us to overcome challenges that life presents. So now I'm coming to the winner, and hold on a minute. I have a winner here, and it is Constance Elm. Constance Elm, we choose really from all of the people who are here today, and it's a random choice. And Constance Elm, congratulations very much to being a winner at the Next Journey Intensive. If by any chance you can't do it, you can do the next one, or you can pass your ticket on to somebody else, and we would love to see you. So all of the links have been shared. You will get follow-up emails with the replay, also with all the offers that I've spoken about if you didn't have time to copy or open anything. So not to worry. And I have a few more people here, like we heard at the beginning, who are sharing their experience of having gone through the journey, what it's been like for them. So I leave you with that. I thank you with all my heart for being here today. It was an absolute pleasure. So thank you so much. And I hope I see you along your journey. And may you be healthy, free, and happy. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
My biggest win with the journey was being able to access my deepest emotions and free myself from them. I feel more calm and serene.
I found my true calling, and now today I can help others. I love to make an impact. I love to see transformation in others' lives.
For years and years, I used to feel very lonely, and now I just feel a part of everything. I feel I'm alive.
My biggest win with joining the practitioner program is owning my own life back and stepping out of a severe PTSD.
The acceptance of myself and the self-love, so I don't need others to love me. That's perfectly okay.
Life is different now because of joining the journey, because I just live in so much abundance. You know, I get up every day with a joy for living. I want to go to work. I want to meet other people.
My biggest win was the really deep knowing I actually do have the answers. They are within me.
There is a lot more certainty and openness into where I'm heading and how I'm feeling about things.
I feel more connected to life. It's not an easy path for anyone to do healing work, but it's profound.
1, I'm more balanced. 2, I'm more grateful for those persons who helped me in this life. I enrich my life every day with this wisdom.
It's priceless. There's no better, bigger investment we can do in time, money, or energy.
I was a mess before I started with this work, and I healed from lots of different types of abuse, and that's a miracle.
My life now, because of the journey, is transformed. I have confidence. Even if I struggle, it's just I have to let go. It's step after step, and it's no danger at the end.
My biggest win is myself. It doesn't have to be anything else. You can be fulfilled even if you only have yourself.
It's more peaceful.
I've learned to process emotions. I learned to be more self-aware, and I've learned when you need to ask for help.
I've been able to have a really deep, long, soulful look at myself, and I've been able to uncover, recover, and heal long-term wounds.
My biggest win being a journey practitioner has been becoming a therapist and a healer, because that's what I never ever imagined it to be.
I'm living from a place of freedom and choice. I'm really conscious in every moment. Any sentence I say, it's coming from just pure goodness.
I feel more authentic, wearing much less of a mask. It's about being you and feeling good about it.
I can embrace all that is. I'm here to share my life, my joy. Now I can just be me.
My own journey of healing from cancer is an inspiration for others. I get to work with amazing people, see amazing transformations in their life.
My biggest win is to be yourself. Just be there for other people, to help other people heal, and just to be there.
I know that no matter what comes, I have the right instrument to deal with whatever emotions every situation will bring to me.
It really has helped me come back to a place of wholeness. I feel like completely authentic. I feel genuine. I feel like I'm in my body.
My big win is my courage and my physical healing, my emotional healing. But in one word, I could say freedom.
The journey is all about releasing all of the emotions that create the illness. I was healed physically within 6 weeks, while I had been in pain over 3.5 years.